Well, it was almost like a playoff period. Good, fast, hard hitting. Smith scoring first for the Leafs at the 4:14 mark. Busick tying it up for Boston at the 7:29 mark, 1-1. Well, I suppose in the course of the year, the player most often requested for an interview, especially by young people, is our next guest, Derek Sanderson. And Derek, you've had kind of a tough year from the injury part of it all, haven't you?
Bad one all the way around.
Now tell me, has that great playoff line that got going last year so well, is it ever going to be reconstructed or not?
Well, Glenn Sather was part of it. He got traded, and we've had our difficulties with me being out, and Wayne Carlton getting hurt, and Cashman, and Ace Bailey breaking his leg, and there's a lot of things. So the third line is still basically a checking line, but I just hope it can just do its job it's supposed to do.
Now, your basic job is to go against the #1 line, especially when you're at home, eh?
Yeah, we handle, on the road, the other opposing coaches won't allow us to really play against who we want. So at home we play against the big units, and we get Makita and Beliveau and those guys. Eddie Westphal does a fantastic job at defensive part of the game, and he's really helped us.
Derek, in the course of this past year, you've received lots of publicity, national magazines, television shows, and you're quite the swashbuckler, according to the stories. Are you really that much of a swashbuckler?
I don't know. It's the freedom of the press. They can print what they want. I don't know. I just say something, and they just repeat it. I don't know. I just like to enjoy life, that's all.
Derek, what is your attitude towards the publicity that you get?
Well, a lot of it's good, a lot of it's bad, and whether it's good or bad it doesn't bother as long as they keep saying something about you.
And then if they say something that isn't correct, you have a chance for a follow-up story?
Yeah, then you get a follow-up story, and then you get another one printed about the guy being put down the first time, and everybody just keeps right.
Mm-hmm. Does this incidentally help, of course, when it comes to contract negotiation time or not?
No, not at all, but in the off-season it'll help in other things like endorsements and stuff like that.
Derek, what about the story that came up last summer that, gee, Derek Sanderson's going to wear white skates this year?
Everybody was fooling around. They knew I was going to go in with Namath in Bachelors 3, and consequently everybody says, if you're going in business with him, you're going to wear white skates. And it was a joke, and I just mentioned it again to some reporter that I was going to try him, and he blew the story out of proportion and kept on going, and I just sat back and read some
Can you really see yourself in white skates?
No, not at all. It's I don't want to try to Americanize the game that much. I wouldn't wear white skates, I don't think.
Incidentally, one of the other teams, of course, has gone to colored skates.
No, St. Louis has got blue skates. The whole team's got blue skates, but I think they look a little bit ridiculous. Nobody can intimidate you with blue skates on, I know that.
And Derek, getting back to Boston, and you're heading into the playoffs last year, of course, it was an exciting playoff time, but you missed out. Do you think the team is in good position and just as strong as last year or not?
Well, if we had Teddy Green was our leader. He was our big man, a terrific asset to the club. If we had Greenie, we'd be walking away with it, I'm pretty sure. But right now, the way it is, Bobby Orr's taking up the slack and playing great, and I think we'll be able to win the Stanley Cup.
Derek, thank you for being with us, and best of good luck to you.
Thank you, Ward.
This past Wednesday in Montreal, the Canadiens and the Rangers met in a must game for both clubs. Rangers trying to end their winless slump, and the Canadiens fighting to get back into the playoff picture. With our Game of the Week highlights, Jack Dennett.